Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dude's Journey podcast. I'm your host, Reverend Phillip K. And just as a reminder, Dudism is more of a philosophy than a religion. That philosophy is to take it easy. It's basically modern-day Taoism, the art of peace. As there is an art of war, so there is an art of peace. And yes, this is an online ministry that you're listening to. We have full tax-exempt status. If you want to make a donation, let me know. I'll send you the link. And yes, you will get a tax-deductible receipt. So join me for a smoke, join me for a drink, as we go into this wild world that we are in. Yeah, Daddy needed that. Oh boy. Well, I hope you're all doing fine as this summer has come into us, sir. Yes, I do believe I feel the vapors. God, I'm just melting every time I go outside. Like, I can't even go in the garage for something real quick without pouring sweat. I'm just not made for this weather. Just not made for it. Oh, man. But just to let you know, to bring you up to speed, if this is the first episode you've listened to, I started this podcast after being a reverend in the Church of the Dude for many years, but I lost my little brother in 2020, and then in 2022, I lost my wife to cancer, and after over 20 years of marriage. So, which is why this particular sermon today is about grief and the problems with grief and how we view grief in the United States. And I searched around, I read quite a few different books, went through a few different therapists, and I have found what I believe to be just 5 tips to help you understand grief a bit more. But before I get into the sermon today, I will be going back. So I actually grew up on the West Coast in Cali, but not the Cali you're thinking of, okay? Not the California you know, not the stereotype. I grew up in a farming town, okay? Rednecks and rodeos and farmland, okay? It was very country. I live in Texas now, and honestly, not a whole lot of difference. But other than the weather, it's very hot out there, but I am going back to see some family. On a sad note, I did have a lady friend I was going to see. We were talking, and now, the complication with being single, as I am now, and I hate being single, I hate dating, it's just nothing but a giant void of disappointment. But I had been talking to this lady friend who's in Cali, and we were talking about like meeting up, and we had shared some times and stuff and everything. And so we were talking about like getting dinner when I came out and all this stuff. But then I bought the plane tickets, and then I hit her up and was trying to kind of like, okay, let's figure out like what, where we're going to eat and what day and all that kind of thing. And then she tells me that she's met someone and she's not going to be available. Yeah. I was like, you still want to get dinner? We could just go as friends, but she was like, no. So, yeah, suddenly she had all these things she had to do and all this stuff. So it was like, fuck, yeah. So it hurts, man. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It does hurt. But the thing is, man, this is being single, okay? And for some reason, I've just noticed this, but I'll have these lady friends who are just kind of, when I meet them, they're kind of down in the dumps, and I'll start dating them, start seeing them, and sending them gifts and flowers and poetry, writing a few bedtime stories, wink, wink, and just building up to remind them that these are beautiful, gorgeous women, and yes, you absolutely deserve love. And they always find it with someone else. Lucky me. Like, I'm just building women up to have better people. Because they find someone who's better suited for them, I obviously have some baggage. I'm a widower. I've got 2 kids, my late wife's parents still live with me. So, I mean, there's a lot of baggage there. It's a lot to take in. So, I get it. Some women are like, hey, I'm in my 40s and I don't have kids. I don't want to be stepmom. Sorry, not going to work, But yeah, so this kind of sucked. I was really kind of hoping that, I don't know. It's tough, but at the same time, I'm happy that they found someone. I mean, that's a good thing, I love seeing people in love. I absolutely do. It warms my heart, even if it's not me That's cool. Because, what am I going to do? Sit here and get all pissed off and yell at her or something and then create an enemy? I don't need enemies, okay? I need friends. And yeah, a lot of these women have put me in the friend zone, but fuck, okay. Then I treat them like a friend. You know what I mean? No problem with having a friend. Don't need any scorned lovers or anything. But yeah, it kind of sucks. Because, I've started to realize something about myself here is that I am not very attractive. I'm starting to learn this, man, just accepting the truth. Because, okay, so my buddy wanted to go see this comedian, right? This female comedian, Miss Summers, Ying Summers or something. I forget how to pronounce her first name, but he's a big fan of hers. He bought VIP tickets and wanted me to go. So I was like, yeah, sure, Now, the thing with comedy clubs, I'm always hoping when I go with my buddy, I'm like, hey, I'll dress up and maybe we'll find a couple ladies, yeah, right? I'm always kind of hopeful that I might meet someone as I'm going out doing things that I like to do, because that's what everyone fucking tells me. I hate that shit. Oh, they'll come along when you're least expecting it. Well, motherfucker, when's that going to happen? Because it hasn't been fucking happening at all. So I go out and do things I like to do, and I don't meet fucking anybody. If anything, I meet people that want to avoid me in the future. So we go to this comedy show, and when you go to these comedy shows, they kind of it's first come, first serve seating, so they kind of shove you together. So sometimes you end up sharing a table with somebody. And usually it's cool, it's no problem, but holy fuck, they put us next to the biggest vagina blocker on the fucking planet. This guy... bald dude, underbite, thought he was funny. It was Colin Robinson. If you've ever seen the show What We Do in the Shadows, it was fucking Colin Robinson they sat us next to. And this fucker wouldn't shut up. This fucker, when he talked, you could hear the pussy dry up in the fucking room. Like a breeze and a little crinkle, right? And then, a tumbleweed of pubic hair flew across. I swear to God. Because this is the thing about comedy shows that some people don't realize, is that when you go to a comedy show, half the people in there want to be a comedian. Literally. That's the statistic. About half the people in there want to be a comedian or have thought about being a comedian or are trying to be a comedian. And that's including the staff. Everybody there wants to do comedy. So that's the thing. And so this guy is cracking these shitty fucking jokes the whole night. When we were sitting down and stuff, my buddy was like, who's going to sit next to this fucking weirdo? So I went ahead, I was like, I'll fucking do it, fucking whatever. So I fake laughed at his fucking shitty jokes and shit, and this fucker's breath, this guy was literally you could feel the pressure of his breath on your face. His stinky breath just right there. I'm like, fucking Christ. And he's all sitting here talking about how he was in prison and shit, he's bragging about it or something, and then you find out he was in there for tax fraud. You were in prison for tax fraud? You fucking little bitch, shut the fuck up. Because look, man, I know people who've been in prison, okay? I worked in fast food, all right? A lot of ex-cons in fast food. And the one thing that you learn is that you never fucking ask them why they were inside. It's considered rude. You don't fucking ask them, okay? They were in, they're not in anymore. It's none of your fucking business, right? But these little bitches who try to act tough, like this motherfucker, this Mr. fucking vagina repellent, I'm serious. If there was a spray of vagina repellent, this fucker's face would be on the cover. Jesus Christ. But anyway, I'm trying to figure out why my buddy wanted to go to the show so bad. And come to find out, it's because she does a lot of crowd work on the first row. And we're in the front row. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, she's gonna, oh, Jesus. Because, I'm not really in the mood to be the subject of someone's jokes. Now, sure enough, she hit my buddy and said some jokes about him. And then she came to me, and she was like, oh, what do you do for a living? I said, investments. And she fucking went right on to the next person. It's thank you, Jesus. I don't want to be out, right? But we had the VIP ticket, so we got to get an autograph and stuff afterwards. So I went and got the autograph and got a picture with her. Now here's the thing. I went and I looked at the picture because my buddy's driving. So I look at the picture and I look at myself and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I am not attractive. I look like Uncle Fester with sunglasses. So I was wearing a button-up black shirt, right? It's like the nicest shirt I have, right? I got like 3 of them. And I looked at myself. I have no neck. I'm looking back at pictures when I have my button-up shirt on, and I have no fucking neck. Like, the collar takes up my entire neck. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I realized that since I've been working out, I've, like, built up my shoulder muscles, so they've basically pushed the collar of my shirts up to where if I put on a collar shirt, I have no neck. It completely disappears. It used to fall around my Adam's apple. Now it's completely covered. I'm like, gee, what the fuck? I'm starting to understand why buff guys wear, like, they don't wear button-up shirts, and if they do, like, the collar's really open, like it's 3 buttons down open, or they'll wear, like, a t-shirt and a sport coat, you know, because, like, the collar just, it rides up. It's just so, I'm looking at myself, and I'm like, dude, I look like Uncle Fester, like, fucking Christ, Uncle Fester with a goatee. Or, if you're a Batman fan, I look like fucking Dr. Hugo Strange. Like, if I put on, like, the goggle glasses and shit, I would look like Hugo Strange. It's, oh, fuck. Starting to realize why all my lady friends are picking other people, or why I can't get a date. I'm like, dude, I am kind of weird looking like shit. I guess I need to stick to being a drug dealer or something. Fuck. So, yeah, how's your love life? Because that's what you deal with when you're in your 40s and you're trying to date. It's absolutely horrendous. Oh, man. And then, like, the people you do make plans with, half the time, these ladies don't even keep them. But I can't begin to tell you just how many women that I got with that was hopeful, you know? We had a connection. And then, you know, it doesn't work out and they find someone else. I mean, it was nice to at least know after Father's Day. I had one lady friend, she dumped me on Father's Day. So it was nice to get the news after, because my kids and my mother-in-law, they got me an Xbox, X series, because I hadn't upgraded yet. And now they were making games, like Xbox is like, they're no longer making games for Xbox One. You have to either get the X or the S. And that's the thing I hate about Microsoft and their fucking game system, the Xbox. It's like, can you guys make a fucking decision over there, you pieces of shit? PlayStation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Real fucking easy, okay? Nintendo, all right, we had the Switch, and now we got the Wii. But now they're just doing Wii, or I'm sorry, we had the Wii, and then we had the Switch. Now it's Switch 2, so even they're got it. But Xbox went from Xbox to Xbox 360 to Xbox One to Xbox X and S. They came out with 3 different systems instead of just one, because they felt that it was probably too expensive and blah, 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 and this and that. I'm like, you dumb motherfuckers, God. Would it kill you? Would it fucking kill you to have some goddamn consistency? But, you know, that's the maker of game systems. I can't, you know, I don't run that shit. But yeah, so that's what I've been dealing with here in a nutshell. So I'm headed out to Cali to go see family and friends. And, you know, I'm booking up days to see, you know, everybody. We're doing like a big barbecue on like a Saturday, so folks can come out. These trips are always bittersweet because my late wife is buried out there. She had a plot next to her grandparents. So it's tough because you got to make like the pilgrimage. You got to make the visit. You got to do the trip. And it's always tough and it's always hard and I always cry a lot and it just fucking sucks. And like the last time I was there, they were having, you know, a party and everyone wanted to see and meet me, and I crept away. I just like locked myself in the room and wouldn't see anybody. I was just so fucking miserable. But I can't do that this time. Everyone's going to expect and they want to see me. So you got to put on the front and the face and, try to act like your life is somewhat put together and shit. I'm just going through the motions of it right now. So I'm trying to record and get this set up, get this sermon done, get it out there, because that leads me into my topic today, which is about grief. And I know it's not fun, and this is based on a book that I found. Like I mentioned earlier, I checked a lot of books on grief and how to process and deal with it, and a lot of them were kind of bullshit. It was all about, like, focus your mind on the positive and all this shit. It's like, bitch, come on. I need some honesty here, okay? I don't need a bunch of the secret fucking tips thrown in my face. I need to know some reality here. And the book that I found was It's Okay That You're Not Okay by Megan Devine. Probably the best book about the reality of grief. Because when you define grief, it's deep sorrow, especially usually it's caused by someone's death. And that's exactly where I'm at in that, is trying to deal with the loss of my late wife and my little brother. Because it's different levels. Okay, losing a sibling is different than losing a partner. And so dealing with all of this, you have to figure out a way to process this, and you have to try to understand the truth of it. And when I had people telling me the honesty, like, hey, the pain is never going to go away, that helps. It's a brutal truth, and it's terrible and horrible, and it's sad, and we all want the fucking Hollywood happy ending, but this is reality, man. You need to know the truth. Just like if you get a license and a car and you drive a car, there is a high chance you're going to get into an accident at some point. Whether your fault or not, you will get in an accident. Now, does that discourage people from driving? No, they still fucking drive, because once again, it's a low, rate of accidents. But you still have to tell them the truth. So that's what I did. I dove in to Megan Devine's book, and it helped. It helped to kind of go through these things and talk about them and understand that grief is something that it doesn't go away. It just doesn't go away. It's like, I'm sorry, but it doesn't. And so there's about 5 things from this book, because there's a lot here. And once again, I'm not getting paid for this. This is no endorsement deal or anything. Whenever I talk about books or readings, it's because I've read them myself personally and I found them interesting and would like to share. So if you're dealing with the loss of someone, with a loved one, this is something here that can kind of help. And so from these 5 things, one of the things that I've kind of noticed here is usually when someone dies, you get a lot of stupid shit said to you. Okay? All right. And that's something I just kind of got to get off the bat here. And I've talked about this in past sermons here on the podcast, is that don't come up to people with your stupid fucking quotes about a plan or everything happens for a reason. I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous, shame-based, reductionist. It's a horrible thing to say to anyone, let alone someone in pain, okay? What reason could there possibly be for my wife dying before our youngest child's 4th birthday? What the fuck is the reason behind that, huh? How is that part of the plan? Huh, bitch? No. Don't you ever fucking say that shit to someone who's in pain. Oh, they had a great life, and you were lucky to have them for as long as you did, so you should be grateful for that and be able to move on. Hey, a great life lived makes it okay that it's over now, motherfucker? Like, listen to yourself. Seriously? Yeah, fucking Christ. Oh, well, you can always move on and love again. Oh, yeah, because the death of my loved one, yeah, I could just turn that into a story about life, right? Or some shit. Or when people tell you to cheer up and things like that, it's like, motherfucker, if it was that easy, don't you think I'd try to do it, okay? The most common, most universal feedback that you get from people, man, it's like, look, people say the most incredibly insensitive and cruel things to people in pain. Sometimes they mean to, but sometimes they're not. They're just trying to make it easier, but they don't know how. But we've got to get away from this bullshit. We've got to get away from these types of mindset. Trying to think like it's just going to pass. Like a shot from the doctor. Oh, that pain hurts, but don't worry, we'll get some McDonald's and you'll feel better. No. All the drugs in the world can't get rid of this pain. It's like losing a limb. You can get a robotic limb if you want, but that limb is gone, and you will always feel the pain and the loss of that. So, with that being said, let's take an honest look, because we don't look at grief correctly. In my opinion, we don't look at grief correctly in the United States, so let's try to find a better way to look at it. Not just so much a better way, but an honest way. An honest way, okay? So the 5 things that I pulled from It's Okay That You're Not Okay by Megan Devine here is, the first one is that our thoughts about grief in the USA are kind of wrong. All right? First of all, grief is as bad as you think it is. This is something that will affect your physical and mental system. Okay? All right? And there's not a reason for this. There's not a reason for someone to die, okay? That's all bullshit, like I said. Not all things have a silver lining. we got to start understanding this. What I've always tried to tell people is, look, the world is chaos. It's fucking chaos. No plan, no reason, just shit happens. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. That's chaos. That's what we live in. I mean, we're on a small dot spinning through friggin' space, spiraling around the cosmos. Anything can happen. Anything can hit us. Anything can kill us. Let's just be fucking honest, okay? So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about here, is that we need to address grief, that it is a major problem. It hurts. It hurts. It's a mental and physical pain. And we have to work through it. I still feel like I have a knife in my chest everywhere I go. It's not going to go away. It's just there. So you got to learn to live with it, you know? It's like people who get an incurable disease. There's no getting rid of it. You just got to learn how to live with it now. And that's what I'm doing. Hence all the smoking and drinking. So, which leads into the second part of this. The second thing that I pulled from the book It's Okay That You're Not Okay is the second half of the sentence. What am I referring to? Well, it's like when people say something to you, there's a second half to that sentence that they don't say. Okay? Now, this is kind of like sort of messed up things that people will tell you when you're in like the most intense and worst possible grief. And it's, you'll hear these things a lot. And, you know, like some people who kind of, I remember one time I had a person that came up to me and said, oh yes, I know exactly how you feel since your wife died, because my dog died last year. And I was like, bitch, what? Losing my wife of 22 years, the girl I fell in love with in high school that I've been with like literally over half my life, you're equating that to the loss of your dog. Whoa, I want to hit you so hard, bitch. Because you're just trying to make it about you. But yeah, like, let's take the second half of the sentence, what we're really trying to say is, no matter what we're told, the second half of that sentence usually is, so stop feeling so bad, right? Like, you'll hear things like, everything happens for a reason, or they're in a better place, or this is all part of the plan. What's the second half of that sentence? So you stop feeling so bad. You know? Everything happens for a reason, so stop feeling so bad. It's all part of the plan, so stop feeling so bad. They're in a better place. Stop feeling so bad. That's literally what people are telling you, because when you're in pain, people just want to fix it. They just want to fix it, give you a cure, give you some kind of words of wisdom, a fucking Bible passage, or what the fuck ever it is. They just want the pain to go away. They want the problem to go away, so they're trying to fix it. But the thing is that when you say this shit, holy fuck does it piss us off. Us, those that are grieving, us, those that are in pain, those of us that are dealing with loss, we fucking hate you when you say this shit. So please, for the love of fucking God, if I haven't gotten this clear enough, let me get it clear here. When you go up to someone who has suffered a tremendous loss, a child, a loved one, whatever it is, just say, I am so sorry for your loss. If there's anything I can do, let me know. And that's it. Because there's nothing fucking else you can do. We respond to what we experience, which is why loss is so tough. And other people don't know how to respond to it. And so hopefully you can tell some people, like when they're trying to say this shit to someone, who pull them aside and just say, look, just say this, just say, sorry for your loss, need anything, let me know, that's it. Don't fucking say anything else. Because unless you've gone through it, then you have no idea what you're fucking talking about. Okay? I always try to make this a point to people. It's like, look, man, I don't know much about driving an 18-wheeler truck. So when it comes to people talking or some kind of debate or some kind of thing about truckers, I shut my fucking mouth because I don't know anything. Okay? And this is why when I've gone up to people since I've lost my wife, and when I go up to people who I know who are experiencing similar loss, I know I approach them the correct way to where I'm not pissing them off, and I just listen and let them know that you understand. I am so sorry this is happening to you. If there's anything you need, let me know. You keep it simple, man. Keep it simple. Which brings me down into the third complication here when it comes to grief, is that we look at grief in the United States as a disorder. All right. The medical model that we currently have calls grief a disorder. All right. But if grief is labeled a disorder by these current guidelines, then why isn't love considered a disorder? Because love affects you. Love changes you. Love causes you to do crazy things. Why isn't love it? Whenever someone's in love, oh, we're happy. I even said myself earlier, with people in love, I'm so happy to see it. We don't call that a disorder. So grief is on the other side of that. It's on the other flip side coin of love. So it's not a disorder. It's just part of who we are. I know there's people out there that want to try to turn their grief into a gift or try to focus on it in some way, but it's... I would never call it a gift. I saw some fucking video of fucking Andrew Garfield and fucking Elmo talking about how grief is a gift because Andrew Garfield lost his mother. And I'm like, motherfucker, this shit is not a gift. The person that you loved and that loved you, that's the gift. The memories you have, that's the gift. Grief, that's the curse that you bear when you lose them. Grief is not a gift. I can't sleep because of grief. I don't feel safe. That's the fucking worst part, is not feeling safe. I had some, it's not so, I'm not talking like safe on the level of like, she's got a shotgun and she'll take out any assassin spies that try to grab me. No, I'm talking like I knew someone had my back. I knew someone cared and loved me and wanted to spend every day of the rest of their life with me. That kind of safe. I don't have that anymore, man, and I miss that. So you got to understand that grief is not a disorder. This is just kind of a state of being that you have to deal with. So don't say it's part of God's plan, okay? It's not. This is not God's plan. This is just chaos. God's plan is chaos, and that's what we have, because you can't have free will if everything's preordained. So, to me, if you're in pain, it's part of that. Sometimes it's part of who you are. You know, I always refer back to the character of Eeyore from the Winnie the Pooh show and the old books. Eeyore was depressed as fuck, but he still got invited places. They still hung out with him because they knew, hey, he's just depressed. That's just Eeyore. That's just him. But we're still going to chill with him. We're still going to invite him. We're still going to hang out. We have a lot of judgment and criticism and dismissive comments when it comes to a person in grief. Because the worst part about grief, it never fucking leaves. Like, you don't think we want this shit to go away? You don't think we want to feel better? I mean, it's something that I've kind of realized. I'm like, even if I had someone in my life and they were everything I ever wanted, this pain would still be there. You know, it's like some of you out there were probably really close to your grandparents, and when your grandparents died, there's that pain, and you're always going to have it because you're always going to love them. So you're always going to miss them. It's a yin and yang that goes together. So this isn't a disorder. This is just living with the pain. Do we want to live with the pain? No, we don't want to live with the fucking pain, but we're living with the pain because that's what you got to do. That's life. It can suck. But you like I said, you try to work it around, man. Now that's the third thing that I've learned. That grief is not a disorder, but we treat it like one. The third thing I've also taken away from this book that I've learned from it is that grief has an effect on the brain and the body. Like I said before, the mental and the physical, okay? Grief is full mind and body experience. Losing someone close to you changes your biochemistry, okay? The loss of appetite, blood pressure, insomnia, the loss of memory, the confusion, the relentlessness. I've had all these fucking problems, and this book goes over them and talks about them. The trauma affects you in every aspect. All of this will affect your body and mind processing, the loss, this sudden change. You know, it's like I feel like I'm in flight or fight mode all the fucking time. Like it's always an emergency or some shit. And it's just created this form of stress. And the body still remembers the person you lost. Like I will still have these moments where I'm looking for my late wife, or I'm looking for her stuff, or checking for her medication or something, and it's not there. And it's like, oh, right. Because this person was I was in love with the same person for 25 years, married for 22. You don't just not remember that. You don't just get over it. You understand? It's there forever. Because I'm always going to love her, so I'm always going to miss her. And that's the weight you carry. And it can be tough. Even my youngest, she came into me one night and she said, "Daddy, I'm having trouble remembering Mama." And I pulled up, my phone has got pictures and videos and stuff of her. And so I just pulled up a bunch of stuff trying to tell her that, because my late wife really wanted to be a mom. She was a paraplegic. She was in a wheelchair. And so the doctors were like, you're a high risk pregnancy. It is very unlikely that you will carry a child to full term. So when she gave birth to a child healthy, she just lit up. Her smile got so much brighter. And to do it twice, to have 2 kids. And she loved being a mom. She was one of those people that had a mother's heart. Those folks that are like just bright and bubbly and happy. You probably had an aunt or someone like this. Hopefully you had a mom like this who was just like everyone's friend kind of a thing. The person that lit up a room when they came in. That type of person. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. So we're all dealing with that trauma. We're all trying to get through it. And when you're getting through this and you're going through this, it'll lead you to the 5th thing that I pulled from this book, It's Okay That You're Not Okay, which is You have a choice when you run into people who try to tell you how to process or what to do. You have a choice: educate or ignore. Okay? Now, when people try to help you get over everything, oftentimes they make it fucking worse. Okay? There's a story in the book about a woman who lost her child, and this woman came over with a bunch of like smiley face sugar cookies and shit. Like, oh, life is okay because we've got cookies. And she was like, bitch, take your cookies and go fuck yourself. Like, seriously? So you have these moments. You're gonna have these problems in these moments with people. So you have to choose: do I want to educate this person? That's the first way. And I often sometimes do that, sometimes don't. But I like, a lot of times I'll ignore and just like not deal with it. But there are times when you need to educate, when you need to be honest about how you feel and tell this person what it's really like, and maybe they'll quit saying this dumb shit, hopefully, all right? You fork over maybe some cash instead of your bullshit advice. I mean, literally, that's what I tell you. Just give them money. Just give them money and shut the fuck up and walk away. I just can't fucking stand this crap. And it's like, shit, I don't know if you guys even know this, but there was, this is a good example. It's a cartoon, but like, okay, so there was a cartoon, the Justice League, and it's Batman, and there's this character called Ace who has these powers, and she's gonna like kill everyone because anything she imagines she can create, and she's created this crazy world of like hallucinations and stuff, and so they're asking Batman to go in with this device and kill her. So Batman goes in with the device, but he has no intention of using it because he knows that this kid is going to die. This kid is going to die from a brain aneurysm, and that everything she's created is going to go away. All the trouble she's caused is going to go away. So instead of going in and trying to kill her, instead he sits with her and holds her hand while she dies. That's what you need to do with someone in grief. Just like Pooh and Piglet with Eeyore. They didn't try to make him happy. They didn't try to change his mood. They're like, well, you better be happy or we're going to leave. No, they sat with him. They just sat with the person in that moment, in their pain, and just let them be themselves. Because like I said, man, the pain is like a disease. There's no getting rid of it. You just got to learn how to live with it. And yeah, sometimes that requires a lot of drugs and alcohol, which I'm glad I'm part of Dudism because we are totally cool with drugs and alcohol. And some say we might even advocate for it. But that's what you have to do with people in grief. You just have to sit with them. Don't try and change them. Don't try and give them some bullshit fucking The Secret advice. Just sit with them. Let them be in their pain. And bring weed. Just bring weed, some liquor. That'll work, Maybe, I don't know, maybe Winnie the Pooh brought some liquor. You never know. Homeboy could have had a shot of Jack under that shirt. Mm-hmm. So now that you know this, now that you've gotten some truth, some real truth about what it's like for people dealing with grief, hopefully this can educate you to not saying a bunch of dumb shit that'll piss people off. So let's go ahead and let's take 5 minutes. Let's just take 5 minutes on the clock to kind of meditate about this and think about this for a minute. About how we deal with trauma and how we've seen others deal with trauma. And maybe now we can be a bit more understanding and empathetic to those people. So let's go ahead. We're going to do 5 minutes on the clock. And we'll start that 5 minutes right now. right, we're back. Well, I hope you use that time to take in some of this information and to understand a little bit more about grief and the people that are going through it, because one of these days, you're going to lose someone. One of these days, you're going to be dealing with grief, whether it be the loss of a parent or a friend or a loved one or a wife or husband. One of these days, grief is going to strike you. And when it does, hopefully this can get you a little bit more prepared and help you to talk to others and educate others about what helps and what doesn't. Because I know I certainly do. Well, thanks for tuning in here tonight, folks. Hope you all out there having a good old time. And when you're out there in this crazy world, I just want you to remember to take it easy. Because when you take it easy, the dude abides. Thanks for listening. Hope to see y'all next time.
From author Reverend Phillip K. comes your next must-read book, Nicholas of Myra, a novel available on Amazon. In Nicholas of Myra, a novel, immerse yourself in the life of the man we all know as Santa Claus. From the loss of his parents to being raised on a farm by his uncle, Nicholas's early life was marked by challenges. His journey led him to the Christian temple in Myra, where he became bishop in a time when Christianity was forbidden in the Roman Empire. Experience Nicholas's profound strength as he faces arrest, persecution, and the unimaginable loss of his loved ones. Despite being tortured and imprisoned, his unshakable faith and his message of love, compassion, and generosity shine as a beacon through the darkness. Nicholas of Myra, a novel, is a journey through history, revealing the roots of Christmas and its traditions. It's a story of faith that endures against all odds. Available in Kindle, paperback, and Kindle Unlimited. Nicholas of Myra, a novel from author Reverend Phillip K. Order your copy right now and discover the story of a lifetime.